Hi, this is Tom Johnson at I'dRatherBeWriting.com. We're at the STC Summit, and I'm talking with Ann Gentle and Janet Swisher. And these two ladies are from Austin. So I wanted to ask them how they would compare the South by Southwest Interactive Conference that's held in Austin with the STC Summit. And the reason I wanted them to compare it is to find out if technical communicators are behind the times in terms of web development and interactive kind of stuff. So Anne, from your experience, you gave a reading of your book, The Social Web for Documentation, at this conference. How would you compare that with that sort of demographic with this conference, the STC?
Well, you know, I've been to South by Southwest Interactive for probably 4 times in the last 6-7 years, and it's grown and changed so much. And I think this past year there was a lot more crossover. Content strategy was a huge theme. Content curation was a huge theme. And there were people I knew from STC at the conference that I got to hang out with at South by Southwest, which had never happened to me before. So this year was kind of a little bit of a game changer. And also being a speaker there is just a wonderful feeling, because part of the idea behind South by Southwest is that it's very community-oriented, very grassroots effort. And that's why I have a hard time comparing it to the STC Summit, because it's an association's annual conference. It's kind of formalized, very traditional, very rooted in all these ceremonial things that they've always had in the past. And so it's hard to compare, I guess. There's a lot of energy at both, and both have the people I want to be talking to and interacting with, because I think part of the onus is on us to keep pushing the bar, keep asking for more, keep looking for more interaction out of our content.
Do you have any thoughts?
Well, as I mentioned to you before we started, I haven't been to the South by Southwest Interactive Conference in over 10 years. And so back when I went to it, it was a much smaller conference, maybe more similar in scale to the current STC conference, as in hundreds of people, but not thousands of people, whereas South by Southwest is now thousands of people. And there's even, even though I didn't go to the conference this year, I thought about going to one of the parties that a vendor was sponsoring, and when I went to the Facebook page, there were 5,000 people, signed up for the party. So I've generally avoided it in recent years, also because South by Southwest Interactive tends to have much more of a web focus, and just in recent years I haven't been in a web-oriented position. But I do think with the current shift towards focus on content strategy, it is becoming more relevant for technical communicators and people who want to become more aware of those types of cutting-edge topics and technologies. It also has somewhat of a different feel, because there's a lot of focus at South by Southwest on panel discussions and getting a set of experts on a given topic together, and you get to watch their conversation, and that is just a different experience from going into a room and having one expert talk at you for an hour. Which you can be very valuable, and you can get a lot out of, but they're just different types of conference experiences.
So let's come back to the web question, okay? Because you said it's a very web-focused conference, but I think that so many things now are moving towards the web. That's really where everything is moving. Do you think and yet sometimes in sessions here at the STC, when they talk about web things, search engine results, I see people frantically taking notes on concepts that are like Web Basics 101. Do you think technical communicators are kind of behind the times when it comes to web trends and development and involvement?
Well, I think that really depends on the industry and company that people are in, and if you're at a hard products company, you may not have all that much need for being aware of the web. So it depends on your context, but basically every company now has to have a web presence, and so yes, we do need to become aware of it, but it's not surprising to me that some people just haven't had to think about it up to now.
You have any thoughts?
Well, I think that technical communicators have to be invited to the large table of corporate web communications, and we have great content to offer, and yet we're not always able to position ourselves or improve our value, that this content needs to be on the web alongside all the stuff that already is interactive, like marketing content that already, you know, people are commenting on or whatever, or brand related content. You know, I went to South by Southwest and went to a session where you know, someone who was a Disney community manager got a question answered by the person who was the Nike community manager. So there's just a lot of people there that are, you know, doing the kinds of things that technical communicators just kind of have to put on their hat. Like, well, what about community documentation? Where do we fit into that bigger picture? And, you know, if anybody's ever configured the Nike Plus iPod stuff, it's very easy to use. It's easy to use, but it's also pretty well documented on the web. And so I think it just depends what products you're working on, who's your audience, what do your users want out of your content.
All right, well, thanks. Again, you're listening to Ann Gentle at justrightclick.com and Janet Swisher. Janet, do you have a website?
Yes, it's janetswisher.com.
Thanks.